Welcome to the 15th Floor, a Radiohead reaction podcast where a Gen X father tries to convince his Gen Z son that Radiohead is the greatest band of all time by introducing him to Radiohead music one song at a time, where he listens to the song for the first time and I listen to it for the millionth time and get to talk about it and make him feel like he needs to listen to more Radiohead. And that Radiohead is the only band he should be listening to. No, not the only band he should listen to. But if he really wants to appreciate music, if he really wants to know what good music is, he should learn Radiohead first, and then all the other stuff will fall into place. Is that true? Coming up on Memorial Day, you've got something kind of planned for Memorial Day. That's next week. We will, sometime next week, we will do a role reversal. We got to catch up on a few role reversals. We've got several of them that have been recorded, but we have been spacing out how we're putting them together. Today, we are going back to 2001's Amnesiac. Do you remember Amnesiac? The album? No. Amnesiac is the album that was recorded at the same time as Kid A, which was the blossoming of Radiohead out of guitar-laden rock. As I said on this channel before, I first listened to Amnesiac, and I just really listened to it thinking these are the B-sides, the byproducts of what they really wanted to release when they released Kid A. So I didn't really give it a fair shake, and I had to go back to it several times before I realized it's a standalone album that just speaks differently than Kid A does. And now it's wonderful. It's a great album. If you can make it through Revolving Doors, then I'm just kidding. It's a song on there that people will say, "Oh, you're kidding! Revolving Doors is a great song." Actually, we have a lot of requests for different songs on Amnesiac, and it was kind of hard to know where to go. I'm trying to mix up slow and fast because I don't want to do all the radio-friendly songs and then leave nothing but deep dives or anything like that. We're gonna do "You and Whose Army" today, and that was requested by "You and Whose Army," which is the name of someone who requested it. All Hail to the Thief, It Me, The World Collapsing. Those are all people who mentioned You and Whose Army. You and Whose Army is as old as 2000. They started playing it live, became kind of a favorite live. People really got excited after the song. We'll talk a little bit more about why it was such a fun song live. Let's go ahead and listen to You and Whose Army, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
Come on, come on, you think you drive me crazy, well, come on, you and his army. You and your cronies, come on, come on, Holy Roman Empire, come on if you think, come on if you think you can take us on. You can take us on. You and whose army.
It's really hard because I don't know if this is a good thing to say now, a good thing to say later, but
We'll see.
Yep. I've been coming to a study recently that it's more enjoyable to listen to a song when you put yourself in the mood for that song. So this song, it's sometimes putting myself into that mood. It's not like me making myself that mood, but just picturing someone else in the mood, just like you have to. I'm saying mood a lot. You have to know the mood, and for me, the mood is it's like a 1950s depressing song. and I'm putting myself, okay, it sounds 1950s. It sounds sad. Let's put myself in a sad mood. Sometimes I try to picture movie scenarios of when the song would be played, so I can put myself in the mood better. This seems like I haven't gotten to that part yet, but I don't know. It's just a new thing I've been trying to do, and I find myself liking more songs when I do that.
Yeah, good. You're not far off on the 1950s feel. Interesting because the 1950s is not a sad time for music. It's the birth of rock and of rock and roll. I shouldn't say rock.
You forget so easy.
Yeah, it definitely does have a like it would belong somewhere in a. I believe this one has been used. You guys let me know if this one has been used in television. I feel like it was used in a show. Anyway, I don't watch a lot of shows, so I don't know. But yeah, it definitely feels like it could fit somewhere in there.
You said earlier this is a Fun Life song. How?
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it would do that.
That last part, if they did what they did for that last part and put in the first part,
Yeah.
is that what they do?
So no, they Tom York sits at a piano and starts playing that very quiet, calm part that everyone is very familiar with. You'll hear in the studio version, he has a nice deep breath in and out. It's very every rose has its thorn. Anyway, when he says that first "come on," people know immediately what's coming. He's sitting at the piano, and the way they do this live is he actually oftentimes has his back to the audience at the piano, and he projected on a large screen. He early in the early live versions, he's singing right into a camera, and his whole face is visible. In later versions, he would zoom all the way in and get that camera just on his eye, so the audience is seeing just Tom York's eye as he's singing this. Given the meaning of this song, Tom York is very direct that this song was written first about kind of hearing voices in his head, not in a crazy way, in a artistic way, and then it turned into an anthem against the then Prime Minister of England, Tony Blair, who was of the Labour Party, who Tom York, because ultimately Tony Blair's position in the world, particularly as we began the War on Terror, as it was called, just seems so to a lot of people seem like a betrayal. I'm not from the UK, so I didn't really pay attention to what Tony Blair was doing. I was too busy watching our guy. But Tom York was very vocal, felt like this is someone that was elected to power that turned his back on the people, who ultimately he felt like was a big fool anyway. And so I think that visual of Tom York singing directly into a camera or his eye is, I'm looking at you, I'm talking directly to you. It's a protest song that sounds very timid and scared, which is very interesting because the words are, come on, take a song, we're coming after, we ride tonight, we're coming after you. But it's also very shy. But I think that's why he does the face. I think that's why he does the eye. It's a direct, I'm staring right into your soul and I'm telling you the people are coming for you. As far as a presentation, as far as entertainment goes, As you can see, where it starts quietly and it's really just him at the piano and Johnny on his guitar, and then and other times even Colin on a piano. Then it builds up to that almost full orchestra. Not orchestra. That's just the band. But it does feel like a full, more energetic song at that point.
It's really interesting stuff here. Never knew AI can be so so interesting at concerts.
But I mean, on a song like this, I mean, it's either he sits at the piano and sings this song, or he presents it to the audience in a way that they'll be familiar with, and they go nuts for it. I said I'll include a live version, or I say it like I'm giving the gift to the people. Here's a live version you haven't seen. No, it's YouTube. I'm just linking to a YouTube live version, and you can watch lots of them. They're very fun to watch. But when the whole band comes in, the energy is good. Ed O'Brien, in particular, has really fun, very high falsetto, not very high, but high falsetto harmonies that. But when the whole band comes in with that falsetto, with that harmonization, it's a powerful song. It's a good protest song that feels different than the usual hey angry protest songs. This is more of a
Uprising by
Muse.
Yeah, Uprising. Is it
Was that the one we watched? Was Uprising?
I think that's what it was called.
Yeah. It was something like that, and a very powerful, And this is not that way. This is just it's much more sneaky, and his vocals are great.
I say I've been doing that, connecting emotionally recently, and yeah, like I said, that's been making me like songs more. One of those songs.
Are you going to talk about Imagine Dragons again?
I know. We'll talk about that.
I'm kidding.
I'll get more into detail in the next role reversal. But basically, there's a song that I thought was just weird the first time I listened to it, but I got myself in the mood. It's a weird mood. But I just that song makes more sense now since I know the mood.
That's good that you've experienced that with your favorite band, because people have said from the beginning, and it's absolutely right with Radiohead, that you do have to be in the mood, and some of them have to grow on you, and then once they grow on you and you know the mood it creates for you, it becomes this whole new song and a more powerful experience. This is one of those songs.
I'll give the song a nice solid 7.
Okay.
I think that just a nice solid 7.
I think that shows some Radiohead maturity, because I don't think you would have given this song a 7 if I would have started with this song.
Definitely not.
And said, hey, we're doing Radiohead stuff. We're starting with You and Whose Army, and you would have heard that and been like, I don't know what you would have thought. But I don't think you would have given it a 7. You pointed out earlier that it has these 50s vibes. The reason why it does is because the way they record Tom's vocals is through a palm diffuser, which is one of the speakers used for the Owen Martineau. And Johnny Greenwood is a big fan of the Owen Martineau. And if you look up YouTube, I'm not going to include the video, but you can look up, there's a video called something like How Johnny Saved the Owen Martineau. And it's a really fun 15-minute video about the history of the Owen Martineau. And maybe I should say, if you don't know, the Owen Martineau is an instrument where you stick your finger through a ring and it runs along a tape. And it kind of goes, as you press a button over here that allows for different dynamics. Anyway, if you want to find out more about the Owen Martineau, that video is really good, and it talks a lot about Johnny Greenwood, and it even mentions quickly that Tom York is singing through that speaker, but it gives it that tinny sound. And I think they were even using something to cover the microphone. I think like egg carton boxes or something like that. An egg carton. They covered the microphone, so it kind of had this, besides a bit of a strange filter, it would also rattle around the microphone a little bit and then come through the palm diffuser, which has 12 strings that kind of come up and are represent each of a semitone of a chord, and when a certain note is hit, the string vibrates. Again, watch that Owen Martineau video. If you're a big nerd and you want to go in the weird corners of the interwebs, then of YouTube, then check out that Owen Martineau. Again, I think it's something like How Johnny Greenwood Saved the Owen Martineau or something like that. All that to say, it gives it a very old-sounding quality. It sounds like he's on a radio station in the 1940s or 50s, and he's calling upon the people to stand up or challenging the prime minister at the time. I think it's a very direct song, and it's fun. Artwork. Yeah. So, interpretations of children. This is the artwork of my daughter. There's the people on the left, a couple of girls giggling, and a person smirking, saying, "So where's your army?" With a stick or lightsaber or Harry Potter wand. Just a stick. It's hard.
sword.
A sword, maybe, yeah. And the girl on the right looks very scared, confused, and yeah.
Trying to find the right.
I'm trying to figure out who is this group with the giggles and the smirks. They must be some type of bully.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I don't know if we're supposed to identify with the girl on the right or the group on the left. And yeah, sing, "So where's your army?" Or maybe that's Tony Blair responding to this girl saying, "So where's your army?" I don't know. She didn't know that part, so there's no way. This is a hard song for young people to interpret, I suppose. This is his picture. Oh boy, I'm never going to remember what he said that said. Something, "Get off my army," or something like that. And the other person says, "Okay." He did want to point out, he said, "Please tell everyone that I messed up." And he messed up. He made a mistake in the drawing. It might be the guy being skewered by his own neck. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the interpretation was off. The spelling is clearly left for interpretation. You have to be able to read child spelling to know, and I can't. We might be coming pretty close to a mutual reaction. What do we call those? Viewer request. Yeah. We might be coming pretty close to those. That's when it does get dangerous. That's when people do get out the angry comments. And we're coming up to, maybe it's time to do the smile. We'll both be reacting to that for the first time, and I'm having a hard time holding off and not listening to it, so I probably should. But we also have to catch up on some role reversals, so let's do that too. Please comment, say something nice, just shout out where you're from, if you don't mind giving away that information on the internet. But just say, "Hey, hello from Germany," or wherever you're from. What? You don't think anyone's from Germany? Somebody's from Germany watching. But just give a comment. Tell us a song you want us to react to. A Radiohead song, The Smile song, a modern rock song, or modern music of any kind that you think we absolutely should listen to because you think it's on the Mount Rushmore of music. And if it's in the last 20 years and it's not Radiohead, then the chances are I don't know it. And so I wouldn't mind reacting to it. Continue to love one another. Keep listening to music together. You're now leaving
the 15th floor.